Welcome to the Chet TV Newsroom. I'm Trevor McManus, and here's what's making news in your area. Busy Bernier beams over new Chetwynd office. In local sports, the Scotia Bank Banjets Giants held their home tournament this past weekend to a triumphant success. And finally, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to the Encana Event Center. Happy birthday to you. And now to your top story. It was a busy Monday for South Peace MLA Mike Bernier. Monday afternoon, he stopped by the Peace FM and Chet TV studios for a ribbon cutting, signifying the opening of his new Chetwynd offices.
I'm Dan.
No doubt. So was it right?
Bunch of staff from Victoria.
So it's a great deal of pleasure. Welcome to Peace FM, Chet TV.
Thanks, Lynn.
And you can come anytime. I'll give you keys to the place.
Well, there you go. Well, thanks everyone for coming out today. One of the promises I made was I wanted to make sure that I had a place to hang my hat in Chetwynd. I talked about that during the election campaign and just the importance of trying to stretch out right across the riding. I mean, as everybody knows, and as Leo was alluding to, I mean, we talk about the importance of the entire region here too. And since I've been elected, one of the things that I've found out is really in our area how vast it is, and trying to explain that to the people in the Lower Mainland. And a lot of you, I think, remember that I've brought a lot of MLAs from down south up here, and when some of them look at a riding that's 10 square blocks and to represent 100,000 people, and I say, well, no, actually for me to go from one corner to the other corner and back home again is about an 8-hour drive. There's a little bit of a difference here, and so for myself, I really wanted to make sure that as best as we can, we reach out to those corners and make sure everybody has the opportunity to access the province, which right now means accessing me, and I think that's really really important for the area. And I think actually, Cindy, who's helped me with my calendar, obviously has said, I think I've spent almost just as much time since elected out here in Chetwynd and Soto with our friends since I've been elected, and I think that's really important as we go on in this new journey that we build those relationships, because we're representing everybody, and my job is to try to represent everybody equally. So it's really exciting to be here, to have Nancy, who's going to help out handing out my business cards when people come in, and making sure that if you have questions and you want to have connections to myself, that we make it as easy as possible. And so it's great to see your worship here and council. Yeah, that is you. For now, until next November, I'm not sure what your plans are. But really excited to see everybody here. And as I say, just want to make sure we build the relationship and have those opportunities. So thank you very much. And when I leave here, I know I'm going to address council today, and then after that, going and speaking with the Chamber of Commerce. So Chetwynd in this area is now feels like a second home, and trying to make it that way as well. So thanks for coming out, sharing some coffee and donuts, and just please mingle, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to represent you. Thanks, everyone.
I really wanted to present Mike with something that really symbolized the First Nations communities in the area. And so I chose this one for him because in our culture, feathers represent a relationship, and that being trust and friendship. And that's how we feel about Mike in our communities, and we hope that this is the start of a really good working relationship. So thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
And I remember in his campaign, I was talking to him, and he said that he would have an office here, and was that a good idea? And I said, yes, perfect. That makes me so proud, because it's a member of Parliament that we can really trust and know that his word is something that we can take.
Well, thanks for that. I shake his hand, but you are giving me a hug. Thank you very much again. Beautiful.
After wrapping up the festivities Monday evening, he stopped by the district council to update the members on all the happenings in provincial politics.
The reason why that was important for me, obviously, and showing my colleagues what happens up here, is it's great to talk about LNG, and we seem to talk about the West Coast. We talk about Kitimat, we talk about Prince Rupert, and how great it is to have these LNG projects. What I needed to remind them, though, was not to take anything away from those areas, but you're going to build an LNG plant, and that'll be 1.5 to 2 years of construction. But it's going to be 20, 30, 40 years of development in Northeast BC to make sure the pipes are full so that LNG plant can operate. One thing that's really good about that is, Rich Coleman, Minister Coleman, a bunch of my colleagues there, they completely understand that. When we're having our meetings, they understand that we need to look at this region and look at it on the long term and how we're going to be affected. And you can appreciate in this room how important that is and how happy I was to hear that. I don't think a meeting goes by in Vancouver now where the Premier and some of these ministers, any discussion was talking about how's this going to affect Northeast BC. And I don't know if that's a change. Talking to the former MLA, he said that he struggled with that too. And it's great to see now that I think because of industry, and that's just the way things work, but because we're on their radar, they need to think about us as much as we need them.
Moving to Dawson Creek, where a date and location has been set for the Dawson Creek Public Forum on highway speed limits, and residents can start submitting their comments. Provincial government announced in October that it would be conducting a review of speed limits on the highways, looking at longer stretches of highways between communities. In addition to written feedback, open houses are being held across the provinces, including in Dawson Creek. That's going January 8th from 5 to 8 p.m. at the Best Western Hotel. Along with highway speeds, the review is also looking at reducing the risk of wildlife-related crashes, how slower vehicles can travel more safely, and the use of winter tires. Feedback can also be provided online as well as during a Twitter town hall on December 17th. That goes from 7 to 8 p.m. using the hashtag BC Speed Review. A proposed new low-cost airline is hoping to reach some Western Canadian cities it says are underserved. Jetlines hopes to launch in the fall of 2014 with target destinations including Regina, Vancouver, Winnipeg, Edmonton, Prince Rupert, as well as Prince George. It still requires $100 million in startup financing and approval for the Canadian Transportation Agency. In local sports, it was a successful home tournament for the Chetwynd Scotiabank Banjets Giants. The mixed team made up of teenage boys and girls from Chetwynd hosted teams from Mackenzie, Clearview, and Dawson Creek. After taking a 3-2 win Saturday night against the Banjets Canucks from Dawson Creek, Giants then hosted Clearview Sunday morning, where they unloaded on the team 10-0. It was literally no rest for the Wicked as the Giants had 20 minutes of rest and then played the Mackenzie Knights in the gold medal game of the Banjet tournament.
Value holding the blue line once again as Jeremy Franklin puts it back on net, and a bouncing puck finds its way through. I believe that was the zone with speed. Nice little backhand move and a good shot there, and he gets it on the breaking in with an opportunity here. Drake Young takes the shot, and it squeezes through. Drake Young with the shot, a bit of a weak.
Chetwynd got goals from Jose Lapierre, Drake Young, and the game winner off the stick of Captain Jeremy Franklin. That sunk the Knights and allowed the Giants to win the gold medal of the Banjet tournaments. And it's a 5-year anniversary for the Dawson Creek Encana Event Center. To celebrate the anniversary, the Event Center has released some fun and interesting facts about the venue over the past 5 years, including the total amount of hot dogs sold in 5 years. If stacked on top of each other, they would be over 4 CN towers tall. Also, they've sold nearly 1,700 pounds of chicken wings, which is around the same weight as a smart car, and patrons have purchased over 250,000 liters of beverages. General Manager of the Encana Event Center, Ryan McIver, has more on this amazing milestone.
Well, it's just there's so many things, to reflect back over 5 years. I remember walking into the building when they're still pouring concrete and their walls weren't still up, etc. And to reflect back 5 years to now, it's just a tremendous feeling to go, wow, the success the venue's had. The fact of the matter is that, Dawson Creek is an entertainment hub, is the premier event center in northern Alberta and northern British Columbia. There's so much to be proud of this venue and for the community. Yeah, it's funny that 5, 6, 7 years ago, one of the things was how the community went through a visioning process, and one of the items was how do you differentiate yourself in the marketplace? What does Fort St. John have? What does Grand Prairie have? And how do you make yourself different? And the community voted on this vision. And you know, to see those taillights after a concert leave the community, there's definitely an impact for those visitors leaving north or leaving east. Yeah, you know, a while ago, a couple years ago, there was an economic impact study, and you know, the numbers do work through the economy. You know, the people, when they come, they need to buy gas or groceries, or they spend an extra day, they stay overnight. So there definitely is an impact to the local economy, you know. And if you've ever been trying to, you know, you come to events and you're looking to go out for dinner prior to, you got to get early, or you're going to wait for a long time. But, you know, all that being said, it's just, you know, to reflect back on those 5 years, the many fans, the sponsors, you know, we've seen over almost 400,000 people come to the venue in terms of events or participating in the activities. You know, the numbers are staggering that way, and, you know, I'd be remiss not to say thank you to the fans, the city, the sponsors, the suite owners, the club seat owners, and everyone that partakes and as involved with this venue.
As a kickoff to the 5th anniversary, the City of Dawson Creek will proclaim December 2nd to the 8th as Encana Event Center Week in Dawson Creek to recognize the achievements as well as the accomplishments of the facility.